All right, welcome back to the 13th pick. Right now, we're gonna be talking about the Nuggets. They lost Jeremy Grant, and I think that's gonna be a big loss. That loss gonna come back in the playoffs where they need that defense and that shooting and that spacing, and they need that versatility. I think it's gonna hurt them in the playoffs a little bit. I think they're gonna the way that Jokic, Jamal Murray. I think Jokic is a superstar or borderline. He's gonna be a superstar for sure, but I think he already is. Jamal Murray is on his way to become one. He has to build upon what he did in the bubble, but he's close for sure. And those two guys, they're gonna carry you in the regular season. I could see them being a top three, top four seed in the West. But come playoff time, they just need that. They don't really have that defender, especially when I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to make a big jump. I think he's going to average like 17, 18 points, but he's not going to be that defender that Jeremy Grant is. And in the playoffs, they have a lot of offense. They just got to get stops on the other end, especially with Jokic as a center. You need like a power forward that's going to get your stops. I think Jeremy Grant was that, and losing that is going to be a big loss for them. But overall, I think that this team is well equipped for the future. They're going to be contending right now. They're going to be contending in the future. They're going to be better in the future. But for right now, like I don't know. Like, I just think that they're just a few pieces away from being a legit threat to a championship. But right now, they just got to develop their stars, get them more experience, right? So I don't even think they're really tripping about that much. What you think?
Yeah, I'd probably honestly agree with you. They did losing Jeremy Grant was a really big thing because obviously, like you said, he's a really great defender and everything. But I think that just opens the door for Michael Porter Jr. This team shouldn't be worried about making it to the Western Conference Finals again because I think last year, to be honest with you, I think they got lucky. Like if you think about it, they were down 3-1 both times, and I know that shows a lot. Like the team coming back, they have really great camaraderie and everything. They're a great team, but they were better than the Jazz, but they were not better than the Clippers. And if they verse the Clippers again, I expect the Clippers to beat them and beat them good. So like I said, and even when they did versus the Lakers, like I even before the series, I always knew that the Lakers were gonna win, and they did make it somewhat competitive and everything like that. But it's not gonna happen again. They're not gonna make it to the Western Conference Finals. They're gonna be a good team, probably win a round. They're gonna be like that type of a team. So they just have to focus on their future right now. You have a guy in Jokic who's a really good player. When he's at his best, he's probably a top 10 player. And you have Jamal Murray in the bubble. He was one of the best players in the bubble. And if you could build off that, they're a lethal team. And adding in a guy like Michael Porter Jr., like I'm a really big MPJ fan, and I feel like he wasn't being used properly in the playoffs. And that's because they're not really sure of like how good he really could be, and they want him to be consistent, right? They see that potential, but they want it to be consistent. And the thing is, he needs to work on his defense. But the truth is, he just can't be a liability. I don't expect him to be like a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard type of defender, like defensive player. I just want him to like show effort and be consistent with defense as well, and actually just pay attention to that more. And offensively, man, like I think he's so gifted. He could be like if he plays like how I think he could play, he could be the best offensive player on that team, and maybe even the best player on that team in the coming years. That's not gonna happen next year, but I want this guy to average like you said 17, 18. My goal for this guy is to average 17 points and just be obviously efficient. I think you could do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the way that team's set up right now, they got Paul Millsap back. They got I think he's gonna be like a more of a role player now. He's not gonna be taking away Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes. I think that right now they're gonna be focusing on okay, let's just develop these guys that we have now so that we can
Yeah,
start contending, right? Because the
yeah,
sooner Michael Porter Jr. develops, the sooner you contend like for real.
yeah.
So I think that's gonna be their focus now. I think they just gotta figure out like carve out a role for him and give him like that consistency and be like, okay, like this is what we want from you this season. This is what we're gonna do to give you that this season.
Yeah,
And once that happens, I think yeah, for sure he 100% he could average 17 without even trying. I think.
without trying. Honestly, he's
Like,
so gifted offensively, and also like they did try bringing Jeremy Grant back. He just denied that money. He chose to go to the Pistons. They matched the offer, or whatever, and he chose to go to the Pistons because he knew he wanted a bigger role, and he knew that MPJ is emerging. So I think the whole locker room really sees that, and it's just about the time now. Like when will that happen? And if he could stay healthy, that's about it. Even if he plays no defense and he's healthy, he's gonna be legit a really good player. It's just about him staying healthy. They did also get JaMychal Green, who's a really good player. He can help stretch out the floor. And I think a big addition, not addition, but someone who never played last year in the playoffs, Will Barton. I think he's going to be a really big role. He's going to have a really big role on this team as well. He's a really good like 3-and-D guy. He's a really good shooter. But overall, this team, I'm not going to say it got worse. I'm going to say it stayed the same because last year it was just like they I think they got lucky last year. Like I never want to say that about a team because it takes so much hard work and dedication to like make it to that. level, but I don't see them like you know what I mean. Like they made it to the Western Conference
Yeah,
last year, so like I don't think they're gonna make it this year, no matter what.
yeah,
So
I could see like
it is what it is, right?
yeah, I could see like the argument is that if there was no bubble, they would not come back from down 3-1, right?
Yeah,
And it's just harder, and you could see
maybe against Utah,
yeah,
but not
maybe
against the
against
Clippers.
Utah. But you see the way the Clippers like every single game they had a double. They were up 3-1, and every single game after that they were up by double digits. So that was agree. Like Denver 100% came back. They showed yo we're not quitting. We're gonna win, right? And they did
Yeah,
that's exactly what they did. But that was more so when you're in a situation like that. If you just take away like both teams, you look at it blindly.
yeah.
That's more so about the team with the lead choking than it is about this team coming back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think that yeah, I could see that argument. But at the same time, if this team makes like the Western Conference Finals, I think like I wouldn't be surprised. But
You wouldn't?
yeah, I would not be surprised at all because this team is really
Yo,
that
let me
talented.
just give me some teams, yo. Let me just give you some teams.
I
Okay, do you think they're better than the Clippers?
no,
Are they better than the Mavericks?
I could see him winning that series. Yeah, that would
Yo,
probably
I
be
don't see them beating the Mavs, bro.
nah.
Luca,
They could,
if
bro.
KP's healthy,
If KB's, I don't know because this team is so much deeper and they do have Jokic. And it depends on how Jamal Murray performs for sure though. But they do have
I
Jokic, and
what about
that's
what
the
about
toss up.
what about Portland?
Shit, I don't know about that either, bro. But just like I don't know, like that again, that could be close. Last time they played, they went to 7, and this team, both teams got better.
Yeah, but they're all like I'm not even gonna say the Lakers because I'm pretty sure we know the answer to
Yeah,
that. But let's just look at like I don't even know what the fuck the Rockets are, but I honestly think if they verse the Suns, I haven't seen them play a game with CP3 yet. Obviously, I think the Suns could beat this team.
nah, bro. I think that's getting a little disrespectful towards the Nuggets,
Nah, bro, I'm not getting
bro.
just yo, bro. I'm just saying, man. Like this team is good, but I don't think they're like that level. Like they're in a different tier, man. I don't think they're in the tier with the Clippers and the Lakers. I think they're in the
Oh yeah,
tier
for
with like
sure.
Portland, Utah, Dallas, and like all those teams could just beat each other. I'm not saying like I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins, but I'm just saying I think the other teams could actually beat them.
Yeah, I'm
So
not.
that
Yeah,
point, it's like you're not really that contender. Then it's just like you're in that little bubble. So you're in a tier with those teams. You're not in the tier with the upper level teams. But you made the Western Conference Finals. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think that if you were to ask me like, what do you predict this team to do? I would say
Yeah,
second round exit, right? Probably like
yeah,
game 7, second round. But if they do make the conference finals, I wouldn't be surprised. But I still think this team has that ceiling on them, right? Because they're missing
yeah.
a few pieces that every contender has, like that defender, like that
The
sharp,
leader too.
all that, right?
Actually,
That
I would say
experience
Paul
too.
Millsap's a good leader, but I feel
Yeah,
like if they had a
but he's
different type of leader,
not
a
like a
vocal
LeBron
leader.
superstar type leader, right? Like every
Yeah,
team has that little like go 200%. Like you know it's KD, you know it's Curry, you know it's LeBron. Like I don't know if
mm,
I think Jokic, I think all these guys they just need what they're missing is a few pieces like defenders. They have
yeah,
good defenders, but like a defender alongside Jokic. They're
yeah.
missing
To
that.
make the game easier for Jokic, right?
Yeah, so he just focuses more on offense to defense. They're
Yeah.
missing
No,
I
I
think
agree. I agree on that.
like a sharpshooter, like a JJ Redick, KCP, that type. And they're
Yeah,
also one thing also like they're getting experience by the day, but they're still a really young team. And you don't see
yeah.
young teams win that often. Unless there's
But
like
yeah, that's really impressive. They have a really bright future. I would definitely say that for sure. Really
that's why
bright
like
future.
yeah, like I think this team is great. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I just think that they're not gonna this team has the way their pieces are right now, they just have ceiling on them right now. I think
Yeah.
that in the future though, I think this team, if they keep that core intact, they will win a championship, at least one.
Okay.
With
Maybe.
Jokic, Jamal Murray, MPJ all developing with that core, I
Yeah.
think that team's good. And just the way, like, you look at the way they played, bro. I think this team, if they develop and they get that experience, for sure, I think they could win one in the future.
Another player I expect to play a little bit better is PJ Dozier. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but yeah, he was
Yeah.
pretty good in the bubble too. Like I watched him play. I think he has that aggression. I think he could be a little bit better. But another X factor for this team, we haven't even talked about him, is Bol Bol. Uh, if he could stay healthy, man, that could be like that could change everything. If he could stay healthy, and if he just like, I just want to see him play like fucking 10 straight games, 15 straight games, play like have like a certain role, and like I think he could be a really good NBA player too. What do you think about Bol Bol?
I, I think he's a little he's a skilled player, but I think he's a little raw right now. I think he has to figure out like how he's gonna compete, like I guess NBA level players, right?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't,
That's true.
I don't know if he's like ready just yet, but I think that once he gets again like experience with this team is all they really need. He's 21 right now. When he
Yeah,
gets more experience, like this guy, he has scary potential, bro.
Yeah.
scary potential. But I
Because
don't
I
know how
remember, I
effective he'll
remember
be right now.
Shaq. I'm not sure if you remember. Shaq was like, he's like, he would take Bol over Zion Williamson. He said that before, but he just like that's how much he believes in Bol. And like the hype is real with this guy. You already know, like Denver, like they have so many X factors on the team, like Michael Porter Jr., Bol. Like it's crazy. Both those players, if they are what they're supposed to be, this team could be insane,
Yeah,
insane.
and
Even if they're
again,
not, they're still so good. So like that just tells you how talented the team really is, right?
yeah, and again, they got RJ Hampton too, bro. This guy's
Oh
a
yeah,
point guard. I
yeah.
think I don't know. I think he probably should have been like a lottery pick. I don't know how he
Mm,
fell to Denver.
me
It's
neither.
pick 24th.
24th, right?
Yeah,
20,
24th.
yeah,
That's
24th.
crazy. Like all, but those five players are all high potential players. I don't think
Mm.
RJ Hampton's like a superstar, all star like potential player, but he's still like a borderline like Malcolm Brogdon type player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully. The thing is, when it comes to RJ Hampton, he's probably going to be coming off the bench, obviously,
Mhm.
because Jamal Murray is like that's their guy, and that will be their guy for the future. Hopefully, if they could keep him, and then you still have Jokic, you still have like I don't know if Paul Millsap's going to start, because you have MPJ, you have Jermichael Green, so like he would probably start instead of Jermichael Green, but you still have MPJ. I'm not sure what position he's going to play because he could play the 3 or the 4.
I think he'll be a three, bro. He's not gonna
He
guard
he
power
can't go, but
forwards.
he's fucking 6'10", bro.
Yeah, I
He's
think
6'10", so like
you
I
gotta
don't know.
develop him into that right now. You can't just throw him into like a starting power forward, right?
Yeah,
I
you
think he,
can't.
yeah, I think he's gonna be more like a KD small forward type player, and then KD eventually had to develop into like now he could guard power forward, so now he could play
Yeah,
power forward.
KD could play the 4 right now. He could.
Yeah, yeah, hundred
He
percent.
might play the 4 in Brooklyn. I actually have a feeling he might, but
Yeah,
that's a different topic. But I think he might. And
yeah,
another, they also got the other guy too. Fuck from the league. Troy Daniels. Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter too. So
yeah,
if they could somehow just use him in like spurts of the game, like play him for like a bit, he could be that like lethal shooter. I really believe in him.
yeah. This team is honestly really deep, bro. But
Yeah.
before we stop, we always talk about what realistic goals we have for this team. What do you have for him?
Goals for this team is for actually this is not a goal. I expect Jokic and Jamal Murray to play like they were playing in the bubble, play really really good. But my goal is for Michael Porter Jr. to average 17 points a game and be efficient. And my goal is for them to win a playoff series.
Yeah, I would probably have the same goal about Michael Porter Jr., but just to have like something different, just so we're not agreeing on the same thing, I would probably my goal. I think Jamal Jokic is gonna make All Star team. My goal is Jamal Murray. You make All Star team too.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's something that you wouldn't really like. You wouldn't choose him to make it, but you wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he did make it, right? And that
But
just shows
yeah,
that if he does make it, he did build upon that bubble run that he had.
I think for Jamal Murray to make it, like skill wise, he's like obviously there, right? But for him to make it, the Denver would have to be like really high seed. There'd have to be like
Yeah,
a second or third seed. Then I could see him making it because, like, bro, the West, you already know they're fucking stacked. They have Dame, Curry, all these guys. Curry's coming back too, right? Like,
they always are
they're
top
really really
seed though.
stacked.
They're always at least like third the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I
So
can see it happening.
if they could be in that tier, I could see this team making it.
Yeah, this team's built for the regular season for sure.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, and make sure you guys subscribe. Peace out.
Peace out.